The internet is a wild place. There's parts of the internet that's filled with wholesome content, there's parts where illegal activity lurks, and there's parts of the internet where pretty much everything you know and love is taken to Pound Town. Good old Rule 34. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have stumbled upon this type of content. For obvious reasons, I can't show you the full uncensored images, but just use your imagination. I'm sure you can fill in the holes like the characters in these images. But how did Rule 34 start? Well, let's get into it. Rule 34 is part of a long list of internet rules. These rules are sort of a meme. This set of rules was started on 4chan sometime in the early 2000s. There's some funny rules on there like Rule 30. There are no girls on the internet, which is obviously not true. Or Rule 36. There will always be even more messed up shit than what you just saw, which is true by the way. But Rule 34, which states if it exists, there is adult content of it, is one that really impacted the internet. The term Rule 34 was said to be invented by a guy named Peter Morley Salter, who one day stumbled upon some explicit content of Calvin and Hobbes, and he then drew a comic illustrating his reaction. Thus, Rule 34 was born, and after that, the internet ran with it, and it spread like wildfire. The amount of content the website has is over 8 million and counting. What started with a hentai picture of a tiger girl and a vicious tiger has evolved into sometimes over-the-top images with outrageous scenes. The fact that artists are commissioned to draw these pieces, and sometimes animate them, takes true dedication to the genre. The amount of detail that goes into some of these is truly amazing. Even if the image disgusts you like some of them did to me when I was searching the website for research purposes of course, you still gotta give these artists credit for doing a great job. Rule 34 has become so huge on the internet that let's say you search up a picture of Judy Hopps from your favorite movie. The algorithm may show you an image of her in a different manner, without having to dig deep for it. This is the case for a bunch of popular animated characters. Most recently, the internet fell in love with Ember Lumen from Elemental, and the amount of art continues to grow. Parents, be aware, that picture of Olaf your son just pulled up may not just be Olaf. It might be Olaf using his nose for something else. We as humans are somewhat perverted by nature. The dawn of the internet made the traditional Playboy magazine pretty much obsolete, due to us being able to search up anything we wanted to see at any given time. Now with the mainstream media sometimes sexualizing characters, that eventually led the internet to take it a step further. And now the Rule 34 website houses millions and millions of explicit content. I guess this is in our nature. This was always meant to happen. It's all fun and games seeing your favorite character in an explicit manner. But now, let's get into some negative aspects regarding Rule 34. Popular YouTuber/animator Jaden Animations, who prides herself on her wholesome content, has expressed distaste for the explicit art people create involving her character. She acknowledged that there isn't much she can do to stop it, and addressing the issue fully would just add spark to the fire. She's worried that family or younger fans would accidentally stumble upon this content when trying to search up for her content. This is something not just animators but people with a huge following now have to deal with in the content space. Like Rule 35 states, if no adult content is found at the moment, it will be made. Especially with technology getting more advanced with AI and deepfake, it's going to be very difficult trying to distinguish what's real and what's not in this industry. So if everything and anything can be turned into adult content, what about the art involving characters that are minors? Is that illegal? Sadly, it isn't. The laws against CP state you cannot do these three things. Create depictions of virtual children that are indistinguishable from depictions of real children. Create depictions of virtual children using compositions of real children to create an unidentifiable child. Disguise pictures of real children being abused by making the image look computer generated. The problem with this law is that it didn't address anime or images that are indistinguishable from a real child. For example, if you were to illustrate a realistic drawing, this would obviously be a violation. But some genres on the internet have found a way around these laws. Lolly hentai depicts crude art involving what looks like minors, but is able to get away with it by saying something like, the characters in these images are over 1,000 years old, but are somehow trapped in a child's body. I'm personally not a fan and find some of the content disturbing. And yes, I'm well aware it's fiction and therefore cannot cause any harm, and that's why it can't get banned, aside from a few cases, but come on. If you're really going out of your way to watch that or indulge in the images, then there's definitely a problem there. Regardless on how you feel about Rule 34, it's here to stay. Whether you're browsing the internet for a research paper or hanging out on Discord, this content will find you, no matter what. Sometimes you gotta be careful out there. You may find some questionable content. Me personally, I'm not against Rule 34, but I don't go out of my way to find it, and if I accidentally stumble upon some, I'm not going to act like it's the end of the world. Sometimes it's funny seeing the outrageous shock factor in these images, and other times it's straight up disgusting. Other than that, I also have a few other videos discussing different aspects of internet culture if you're interested. Links will be in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching.